The decision is made at 9:17 local time in a facility somewhere in the Zagros Mountains, and the general who makes it is operating under the comfortable assumption that he is about to do something history will remember. The USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group is transiting the northern Arabian Sea, 310 nautical miles southeast of the Strait of Hormuz, and the general has convinced himself and his chain of command that this is the moment. 2 Khalij Fars anti-ship ballistic missiles, the Abraham Lincoln herself as the designated target. The GPS coordinates are fresh, updated 20 minutes ago by an Iranian maritime patrol aircraft that overflew the strike group at high altitude and photographed what it saw. The math, as the general has presented it, is elegant. A carrier at anchor does 12 knots. A ballistic missile travels at Mach 3.5 in terminal phase. The carrier cannot maneuver faster than the targeting solution can update. This is, the general believes, a decisive moment in the history of the Islamic Republic. He has made several errors in this reasoning. We will get to them. But first, the vulnerability. USS Abraham Lincoln, CVN-72, a Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier displacing 104,000 tons, is not, at 09:17 local, operating under ideal defensive conditions. She is 71 hours into a maintenance cycle on 2 of her 4 AN/SPS-49 air search radars, a scheduled evolution that has been running 6 hours behind timeline because of a component supply issue that required a helicopter delivery from Bahrain that arrived with the wrong part number, which was identified, and the correct part was located at a depot in Diego Garcia, which required a second delivery, which arrived 4 hours ago and whose installation is currently 60% complete. Lincoln's air search radar coverage is degraded in the northern quadrant. Not absent, not blind, but operating at reduced sensitivity in the exact bearing sector from which a missile launched from the Zagros Mountains would approach. The general does not know this. He has good intelligence on Lincoln's position. He does not have good intelligence on Lincoln's sensor status. Those are different things, and the difference matters in about 11 minutes. The missiles are in their launchers, mobile transporter erector launchers, positioned in a valley that the IRGC has spent 2 years hardening into a launch facility. The Khalij Fars, Persian Gulf in Farsi, which is a confident name for a missile whose circular error probable is measured in ways that would concern any quality assurance engineer, is an anti-ship ballistic missile derived from the Fateh 110 family. It has a range of 300 kilometers, a terminal guidance system that uses a combination of GPS and electro-optical seeker, and a 650-kilogram warhead. On paper, it is a serious system. Iranian state media has described it as carrier neutralizer. Iranian state media has described a number of things with considerable enthusiasm. The Khalij Fars has been tested against stationary targets. It has been tested against targets moving at 6 knots. USS Abraham Lincoln is moving at 14 knots on a course that has changed 3 times in the past 90 minutes because the navigator runs a randomized course variation protocol during transits through elevated tension environments. The missile's electro-optical seeker, the terminal guidance system that is supposed to acquire the carrier and home on it in the final seconds of flight, has a demonstrated acquisition envelope of approximately 180 meters against a target of Lincoln's radar cross-section under clear conditions. The Arabian Sea this morning has 22 kilometers of visibility and a 35% cloud layer at 3,000 feet. The electro-optical seeker will need to acquire a moving target through a partial cloud layer after a ballistic re-entry that subjects the seeker head to thermal and mechanical stress that Iranian engineers have modeled but not extensively tested against real fleet units at real range. The warhead is real. The intent is real. The capability, as we will discuss, is doing some things on paper that it has difficulty replicating in air. At 9:18 local, USS Lake Champlain, CG-57, a Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser assigned as Lincoln's primary air warfare commander, receives a data contact from the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye, orbiting at 23,000 feet north of the strike group. The contact classification is preliminary. Possible ballistic missile launch, bearing 342, range estimate 285 nautical miles. The E-2D's AN/APY-9 radar is not a ballistic missile defense sensor. It is optimized for aircraft and cruise missile detection. But the contact's velocity vector and trajectory are consistent with a ballistic launch, and the track is being cross-referenced against satellite cueing data that has been flowing into the strike group's tactical picture for the past 40 minutes. 40 minutes ago, a KH-11 imagery satellite passed over the Zagros Mountain facility and observed thermal signatures consistent with launch preparation on 2 TEL positions. That observation was passed to the strike group as a general advisory. It is now, 11 minutes later, a very specific advisory. The tactical action officer on Lake Champlain acknowledges he has trained for this. His combat system team has drilled the Aegis ballistic missile defense engagement sequence approximately 300 times in simulation and 6 times in live fire exercises. The sequence takes 11 steps. He begins Step 1. USS Abraham Lincoln's carrier air wing has 6 FA-18F Super Hornets airborne on combat air patrol north of the strike group. The strike group's surface screen includes Lake Champlain, USS McFaul to the northeast, and USS Momsen to the southwest. The Standard Missile, 3 Block 1A interceptors loaded in Lake Champlain's forward magazine, have a range of 500 kilometers and a kinetic intercept warhead that requires no explosive payload. It does not need to. At closing velocities measured in kilometers per second, the interceptor's mass is the warhead. The Khalij Fars has been in the air for approximately 90 seconds. At the Zagros Mountain facility, the launch crew is watching the missiles' telemetry feeds and preparing to relay updated targeting coordinates. The general is watching a status display. In 14 minutes, he believes, the world will be different. It will be, just not in the direction he is anticipating. Lake Champlain's AN/S PY-1A radar acquires the ballistic tracks at 0919 local. 2 contacts. Trajectory consistent with anti-ship ballistic missiles on a depressed-loft profile. Lower altitude than a standard ballistic trajectory, faster terminal velocity, reduced intercept window. The Khalij Fars has been optimized for this profile based on Iranian analysis of SM-3 engagement geometry. This is genuine engineering work. The Iranians have studied the problem. The solution is real. What is also real is the SM-3 block IA's engagement envelope, which Lake Champlain's combat system has just populated with 2 intercept solutions that the Aegis software generated in the time it takes to describe the fact that it generated them. The engagement timeline is tight. Depressed loft trajectories reduce the intercept window, but it is within parameters. 2 missiles, 2 solutions. Lake Champlain has 4 SM-3s available for this engagement. The decision to employ 2 and hold 2 in reserve is made in approximately 4 seconds, which is the amount of time the tactical action officer spends confirming that the firing doctrine for this engagement type calls for a 2-round salvo per target. The SM-3 Block IA leaves the Mark 41 vertical launch cell at 09/2014 local. The second SM-3 follows 6 seconds later. 2 interceptors for the first Khalij Fars. The system generates solutions for the second target simultaneously, and 2 more SM-3s are in the sequence. The Khalij Fars, for its part, is performing well. It is on track. Its GPS guidance is receiving signal. Its trajectory is threading the depressed-loft profile with the precision that Iranian engineers designed into it. At 290,000 feet altitude, traveling at Mach 6.2, it is a technically impressive object. The Terminal Guidance Seeker, the electro-optical system that will acquire Abraham Lincoln in the final phase, has not yet activated. It activates at approximately 30,000 feet, below the cloud layer, by which point the Seeker needs to acquire a carrier that is moving at 14 knots, on a course it has changed 3 times since the targeting photograph was taken. The SM-3 Block IA is traveling at Mach 13.5. The Khalij Fars is traveling at Mach 6.2. These two facts have a relationship that is about to become very apparent. The first intercept occurs at 092144 local, at an altitude of 93 miles above the Arabian Sea. The SM-3's Kinetic intercept vehicle, a small maneuvering body the size of a large fire extinguisher, fitted with its own sensors and attitude control system, separates from the boost stage and homes on the Khalij Fars, with the serene mathematical confidence of an object that knows exactly where its target is and has no feelings about the outcome. The closing velocity is approximately 15,000 kilometers per hour. The kinetic energy of the impact is equivalent to several tons of high explosives, without any explosive material being involved whatsoever. The first Khalij Fars becomes, in the precise technical language of the after-action report, a non-viable ballistic object. The debris field disperses over the northern Arabian Sea at high altitude. The fragments are too small and too high to constitute a hazard to the strike group. The second SM-3 was fired as insurance for the first target. It has nothing to intercept. Its self-destruct sequence activates. The second Khalij Fars is 37 seconds behind the first. The engagement solution for it has been in the Aegis system since before the first missile was fired. 2 more SM-3s are in flight. The intercept occurs at 092221 local, also at high altitude, also with kinetic energy that requires no further elaboration. The second Khalij Fars joins the first in the category of former ballistic missiles. On Lake Champlain's bridge, the officer of the deck is informed of the engagement results by CIC. He acknowledges. He records the time. He notes that Abraham Lincoln's air search radar maintenance is still in progress, and that the northern quadrant sensitivity degradation was, in retrospect, not a factor in the engagement, because Lake Champlain's SPY-1A did not share Lincoln's maintenance schedule and had full coverage throughout. He reaches for his coffee. It is adequately warm. He makes a note in the log about the coffee temperature because the log records what happens. And at 9:22, local what happened includes both the intercept of 2 ballistic missiles and the temperature of the bridge coffee, and both of these facts deserve equal documentation. The general in the Zagros Mountains is watching his telemetry feed. Both missile tracks have disappeared, not because they hit their target, because they were intercepted at 93 miles altitude by objects that were in the air before the missiles crossed 50 miles of range. He will spend some time with this fact before he reaches a conclusion about what it means. While Lake Champlain was managing the engagement, 3 other things were happening in the strike group. The first was USS McFaul's SLQ-32 recording the Khalij Fars launch signature, the TEL's radar, the Zafar targeting radar, an Iranian-developed fire control system that the U.S. intelligence community has been trying to characterize for 4 years, activated briefly during the final targeting update sequence, and that activation was collected in full by McFaul's electronic warfare suite. The specific emission profile of the Zafar radar, in its final targeting mode, operating under live operational conditions rather than the practice modes it uses during Iranian exercises, is a data point that the Naval Research Laboratory will describe as significant. It means that the next time a Zafar radar activates anywhere in the region, every ship and aircraft within range will recognize it within 0.4 seconds and know exactly what it means and what is coming next. The Iranians have spent 4 years keeping that signature classified. They disclosed it in 43 seconds of live operation, The second thing was the E-2D's ISR picture of the launch site, transmitted in near real time to the strike group's intelligence section and via satellite link to Fifth Fleet and beyond. The thermal signatures of both TEL vehicles post-launch, the exhaust plume geometry that confirms the specific launcher configuration, the support vehicle positions that indicate crew size and base operating procedures. All of it collected at the moment of maximum Iranian operational exposure, when the launch crew is focused on the missiles and not on what is watching them. The imagery package will take 3 days to fully exploit. The preliminary assessment is available in 4 hours. The third thing was Abraham Lincoln's Combat Information Center, generating a post-engagement position report that will be compared against the Khalij Fars intended aim point, once that aim point can be reconstructed from the trajectory data. The preliminary reconstruction suggests the missile's GPS guidance was accurate to within approximately 340 meters of Lincoln's position at time of targeting photograph. Lincoln's 14-knot speed over the 19 minutes between the targeting photograph and the intercept had moved her approximately 4.4 nautical miles from that position. The electro-optical seeker's acquisition envelope, 180 meters against a target of Lincoln's size, would have needed to bridge a gap of approximately 8,000 meters to acquire the carrier, even if the SM-3s had not been in the way. The carrier killer missed by 4 nautical miles before it was intercepted at 93 miles altitude. This is the kind of math that takes some time to sit with. The cost accounting for this engagement requires a different kind of arithmetic than the fast boat scenarios. 4 SM-3 Block IA interceptors. Each SM-3 Block IA costs approximately $10.2 million. 4 of them represent $40.8 million in ordnance, expended to neutralize 2 Khalij Fars missiles. Each Khalij Fars costs Iran approximately $3 to $4 million to produce, based on open-source assessments of the Fateh 110 production line and the additional cost of the electro-optical terminal seeker. 2 of them, approximately $7 million. The U.S. spent $40.8 million to intercept $7 million worth of Iranian ballistic missiles. Somewhere, a Navy comptroller is looking at these numbers with the expression of someone who understands why they are what they are, but still finds them uncomfortable. The comptroller is wrong to be uncomfortable, for a reason that does not appear in the acquisition cost of an SM-3. The SM-3 Block IA is in production. The Raytheon Tucson facility produces them on a schedule that the U.S. Navy has been managing since 2000. The supply chain is mature. The next 4 SM-3s are already in a magazine somewhere in the Fifth Fleet inventory. The institutional knowledge required to deploy them is distributed across every Aegis ship in every numbered fleet. The employment doctrine is rehearsed 300 times before a crew ever uses it in earnest. Iran has, by open source count, produced between 14 and 22 Khalij Fars missiles across its operational inventory. 2 of them are now debris in the northern Arabian Sea. The production rate for Khalij Fars is not public information, but the Fateh 110 production base suggests it is measured in single digits per year. The general in the Zagros Mountains has just spent somewhere between 9 and 14% of Iran's operational Khalij Fars inventory on an engagement that did not reach the terminal phase. The targeting photography, the launch sequence, the radar activation, the mission planning, all of it invested to produce a result that was intercepted at 93 miles altitude before the seeker head could even be tested against a live carrier. This is not a footnote. This is the entire story. At 9:31 local, 9 minutes after the second intercept, the strike group returns to normal operations. Lincoln's air search radar maintenance continues. The FA-18Fs on combat air patrol orbit their assigned positions. Lake Champlain reloads the 2 expended forward VLS cells from the strike group's ordnance reserve. a process that will take approximately 4 hours and requires coordination between 2 ships, a crane, and a maintenance crew that has done this before. The tactical action officer completes his engagement log. The commanding officer of Lake Champlain reviews the log, notes that both engagement timelines were within the training benchmark, and signs it. On Abraham Lincoln's flag bridge, the strike group commander reviews the engagement summary. He notes the radar maintenance scheduling coincidence, the degraded northern quadrant coverage that the Khalij Fars approached through, and makes a mental note to examine whether maintenance evolutions on air search systems should be sequenced differently during elevated tension transits. This is the kind of note that becomes a lessons learned item in the post-deployment report, which becomes a footnote in the next training syllabus update, which becomes a slightly better crew on the next ship in the next rotation. The system improves from its own experience, continuously, quietly. The general in the Zagros Mountains is composing a report for his chain of command. The report's conclusions are not yet clear to him because the outcome is not yet what he expected, and the gap between expected and actual is the part of the report he is working out how to frame. 2 missiles, 0 damage to the carrier, both intercepted before terminal phase. The Zafar radar activated. The launch signatures collected. The TEL positions photographed from altitude. He will find a framing. These reports always find a framing. By 11 o'clock local, Iranian state television is discussing what it calls a successful operational exercise demonstrating the Islamic Republic's ability to project deterrent force against hostile naval concentrations in the Arabian Sea. The Khalij Fars missile system is described as performing within specifications. The absence of visible damage to any American vessel is not addressed directly. The broadcast mentions carrier neutralizer capabilities 3 times in 6 minutes, which is a frequency that suggests the term is doing a lot of work that the operational result is not. The specific claim, attributed to an unnamed military source, is that the missiles successfully completed their flight profiles and demonstrated Iran's strategic reach. This is technically accurate in the sense that both missiles did fly until they were intercepted at 93 miles altitude, which is inside their flight profile in the same way that a marathon runner who falls at mile 3 has technically completed some running. The electro-optical seeker heads, which were supposed to be the decisive technology in this engagement, did not activate. They were neutralized before they had the opportunity to demonstrate whether they would have worked. This ambiguity is, from the Iranian media's perspective, an asset. You cannot prove a seeker head would have failed if it never activated. You can, however, note that the carrier was 4.4 nautical miles from where the missile was aimed. On Lake Champlain, the watch has changed. The new tactical action officer is reviewing the engagement log as part of his turnover brief. The SM-3 employment was clean. The Zafar radar signature has been transmitted to the intelligence community. The after-action timeline shows every engagement step completed within the training benchmark. He initials the log and takes the watch. The strike group continues its transit. The Arabian Sea is blue and unremarkable. Lincoln's air search radar maintenance is complete. The correct parts arrived, were installed, and the northern quadrant is back to full sensitivity. The flag bridge is quiet. The coffee on the flag bridge is, by all available accounts, significantly better than the bridge coffee on Lake Champlain, which is the kind of detail that does not appear in the engagement log but which the crew has opinions about. The next watch will be routine. The one after that probably also. The general in the Zagros Mountains will eventually file his report. The Zafar radar signature is already in the threat library, being formatted for distribution to every Aegis-equipped ship in the Pacific and Atlantic fleets. The engagement has produced more intelligence than it cost in SM-3s, which is a sentence that requires $40 million in ordnance to make, and is true nonetheless. 9% of Iran's carrier killer inventory is in the Arabian Sea at 90,000 feet. The carrier is fine. Bye for now.